topics in gaming. We are going to be doing Modern tonight for our streaming. My name is Alan Wontroba, and I'm here with
Sean Carroll.
And today we have Paul Mills playing 8-Rack against Chris Gorski with 4-color humans? Or 5-color?
5-color humans.
5-color humans. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We had to get everything reset up back in the studio. Did you see who won first game?
I did not see at all what we were doing.
Okay. But we are going into sideboarding. Once again, sorry for that.
Yeah, tonight I think we should be bringing you 4 rounds of Modern. I think 4 rounds.
I think so. I didn't go downstairs to actually see, but that sounds about right for Modern here.
Yeah, I don't think I need to. Don't know how much time should be remaining. I'm not terribly familiar with the 8-Rack deck or the Humans deck, so I'm not even sure what their sideboarding plans would be.
Me neither. But from what I've seen, the Humans deck is just doing really, really good right now.
Oh yeah, no, it is a very popular. Well, I'm not gonna say it's popular, but when it's played, it usually puts out pretty good standings. 8-Rack not nearly as popular nor successful outside the hands of Tom Ross. I don't know what he does, but all he does is win.
8-Rack and Infect. That's all that Tom Ross will do.
Yeah, he is a wizard.
Also, don't worry about the time remaining in the upper right-hand corner. Like I said, we had technical difficulties, so we don't know exactly when they started. But in rounds 2 and on, we should be good for that.
Yeah, we should get that fixed up for the next round. Looks like they're still shuffling up.
The old Brian Kibler special.
Yeah.
So, if you had to take a guess, who do you think wins game 1? 8-Rack or Humans?
I would probably say 8-Rack. Like, just from what I saw, the few seconds I saw of the actual game 1, I just saw a Mana Strider, and it looked like it was being killed by Paul Mills. So
yeah, I do remember Paul Mills doing a Fatal Push, I believe, on it, which is just such a bonkers card.
yeah, their ability to just remove all the creatures that the humans can lay down, strip their hand, and the Humans deck really doesn't have any way to interact. I don't think main deck, save for maybe a creature or two, with the 8-Rack plan. I really don't think he was able to probably pull that one out. I think he also had like 2 or 3 Aether Vials out.
Yeah, one was at
I saw at least
ticked
2.
at 1, and the other I believe was ticked at 3. And he had Caverns out, which I would assume would be Humans. So we have our opening hand for game 2. Ooh, I see a Meddling Mage over in Chris Gorski's hand. What do you think you would call against 8-Rack?
I don't know. Like, you'd want to try to turn off the 8-Rack or the Shrieking Affliction, but there's so many ways for it to be removed. You might want to name a removal spell, maybe
like Fatal Push, maybe. Because
yeah.
I think if I was Paul Mills, I would probably keep my Fatal Pushes in. Dealing with humans, they're all low mana
you don't
costs.
take that out. You never take that out. Like, all you want is removal in this matchup.
So I have been away from Modern for quite a while, and it's kind of interesting that most of the decks here, from what I would scan when I would go door to door, I don't see many Tarmogoyfs anymore. I guess with Fatal Push, that kind of slams it.
That card has fallen way out of favor ever since Fatal Push and the move over to Death Shadow.
Yeah.
has kind of pushed Tarmogoyf out of the picture.
So it looks like Paul Mills, I think, took a mulligan. Yeah, he has scryed one and kept it, so it must be pretty good. And we have Caverns probably naming humans.
And an Aether Vial.
Oh, pretty good.
So that's a really good start. A lot of the 8-rack removal is going to be sorcery speed.
Mm-hmm.
So Aether Vial can definitely help him dodge some of that.
And we have, I believe, an old school rack.
Yep. So that, I think it deals X damage, which is X is equal to your hand
minus 4. Yeah. Oh, there's Meddling Mage. We unfortunately do not know what Meddling Mage has been called, but like we talked about, it's probably one of the removals that
probably, or his name is Smallpox.
Smallpox is in 8-rack too.
Oh yeah, no, that's
awesome. Love Smallpox.
Yeah, which can be particularly brutal.
Well, speaking of Smallpox,
well, yes,
there it is.
He did not name Smallpox.
He did not. So we have, for those of you who may or may not know what Smallpox does, each player discards a card, loses a life, sacrifices a land and a creature. So
they should both be at 19.
19,
now.
Yes.
They each discarded a land. That creature goes away, and we each lose a land here. I assume it'll be unclaimed territory.
Well,
I don't think there's much difference.
Yeah, because unless they're playing Dash Hopes,
yeah.
I don't believe that you have to worry about your cards getting countered.
Yeah, definitely. And I will pretend to know what Dash Hopes is.
Ooh, is that an Aethersworn Canonist
That is an Aethersworn Canonist.
Don't know
Not
how. That's probably a sideboard option.
Well, it might be main board, but
Oh, there's another Meddling Mage in Chris Gorski's hand.
Huh.
With a Mantis Rider. So, do you tick up the Aether Vial? Do you leave it at... I guess I would leave it at 2.
Leave it at 2.
And
I think he's got Thalia's Lieutenant as well.
Yeah. Also, if you don't have another land in hand, I guess I would keep it at 2 just to be safe. Then you can always tick it up next turn.
Yeah.
And there's the Lieutenant.
Pretty sure there's a lot more 2-drops in the stack than 3.
And Fatal Push.
Kills the Canonist. He did not crack his Bloodstained Mire. Oh, nope, he had an Urborg, so he didn't really need to.
Oh, and Liliana.
That'll be
Minus
rough.
2. Yep.
Liliana on a basically clear board.
And the rack is now active, I believe.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Well, there's a Noble Hierarch, and he ticked it up to get the Mantis Rider out, and crashing right into Lily.
Yep, that's definitely need to get that Liliana off the board quickly. And he has a Noble Hierarch there to protect against a follow-up Liliana.
Is that a Cannon Slauson? Oh, he has Urborg. That's why he didn't crack it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that looks like an Asylum
Visitor?
Yeah.
I think it's Asylum Visitor.
Man, I don't know. Like, it's like Mantis Rider's going to hit 4 in the air.
Yeah.
Like, and I believe Paul Mills doesn't have a hand, so now would be the time that Chris Gorski can go in and just crack in without worry as of right now.
Yeah. Although he will be drawing an extra card next turn.
Yeah.
At the cost of 1 life.
It's almost like a Phyrexian arena on a body. Minus the you have to have no hand, but...
And Paul goes down to 15 off that Mantis Rider attack.
Now, if you were in Paul Mill's shoes, would you be nervous with the Mantis Rider coming in like this?
Not particularly.
So
I mean, he still has a couple more turns to find a way to answer it.
Yeah.
And he's drawing 2 cards a turn. The deck is full of a lot of removal.
almost goes down by 1. Yeah. And even if he drops a Liliana, it's still like you can still just Thoughtseize. Oh, that's pretty good. And we see a
Kitesail Freebooter and a Meddling Mage.
Yeah. And the kites.
Looks like he's trying to protect something in his hand. Paul goes down to 12 off that Thoughtseize.
And he's attacking with the
A Silent
Visitor.
Uh,
And he takes it.
yeah, he doesn't really want to trade off with the Mana Strider.
Yeah.
It's too valuable of a card.
And then the rack triggers. So I believe he goes.
How many
he's
cards
at
in his
14.
hand? 1?
He has 1 card and he drew 1.
So he should be down to 14 then.
Yes.
Because,
And another attack and a trigger off the Noble Hierarch.
yeah, it should put him down to 8. He definitely needs to find an answer to that Mana Strider. If he can answer that Mana Strider, the game should be over with.
And there's an I don't know if Inquisition. Well, I guess I would probably get rid of the Noble Hierarch because that just gives Mana Strider another swing in, like another low pointed damage.
It doesn't change the clock, though. He just has 2 turns of 4 damage.
So we have Paul Mills at 10 and Chris Gorski at 9. God, this is so close. And since we don't know who won game 1, this is also a little...
Paul Mills' life total should be 8, not 10.
Should we let Ryan... Well, let's see, because if... Oh, there it is. And I don't think it changes the clock.
It won't now, but I don't think he caught the life loss from the Thoughtseize. But I will match up with what they have on the board. I think there should be another 3 damage coming in.
Yep.
Take Chris down to 6.
And unless Paul Mills has like a Fatal Push or something in his hand, I don't...
Yeah, he needs a removal spell for that Mana Strider, or at least a way to kill a Noble Hierarch.
I guess Chris Gorski's going to draw a card off of Canopy Horizon.
He'll only take 1.
Or Horizon Canopy. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
He'll only take
Man.
1 damage, yeah.
Oh, yep. And I don't
I don't know what's
know
in
what
his
that
hand.
one is. And there's attack. And there goes game 2. It goes to Chris Gorski. And let's see where this goes.
Looks like we're going to game 3. So
Ooh,
as I
even better.
as I figured, I thought Paul Mills would win game 1. And it looked like he had. Can I? There. It looks like they're 1-1. I'm trying to figure out how to get that up on camera.
It would be under the scoreboard, rounds and records, I believe. Yeah, player 1.
Okay.
Yeah, score.
There we go. Thank you. Thank you, Alan.
You're welcome. See, I pay attention to some things. I don't pay attention a lot, but when I do, you know, it just helps everyone out a little bit.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Well, I still think Paul is favored in this matchup.
Well, Paul also gets to go first, so that means his discard is still active first to get rid of any nuisances early games.
Well, I'm betting he will choose to draw because he doesn't want Chris Gorski to get any extra cards in his hand.
Ah, that is very smart.
So usually 8-rack players will choose to draw. But, yeah, no, like that game looked very winnable for Paul. He just needed one more removal spell for that Mana Strider, and it felt like he probably had that game locked up.
Yeah. Unfortunately we couldn't see the cards in Paul Mills' hand during that, but I guess it really didn't matter in in the retrospect of the game. But we are Brian Kiblering right now. We're shuffling. And while they cut, I just want to say thanks to everyone watching. And I want to thank you, Sean, for coming up here and helping me out on this one.
It's no problem.
And like I said, anyone who is just tuning in, we know that the time remaining, negative 33 minutes, is not correct. We've had some technical difficulties starting the stream, and we started a little bit late. So our next... Oh, and there's a Thoughtseize.
I guess he chose to play this time.
Yep, Chris remembered this time.
Hey, here we go.
So Thoughtseize is gonna grab...
Champion of the Pairs.
Yep.
Is only turn 1 drop. It looks like a... I saw a...
there was a Mayor of Havenbrook.
Mayor of Havenbrook.
Yes.
The Manus Rider and a Zathrid Necromancer.
Which, if you get their turn 1 play, I mean...
Yeah, it's definitely slowed him.
Well, is he going to pay 2 life? Yes, he is for it. No.
Oh.
The safest cards in anyone's hand is always on the top of their deck. I always found that out.
It's like we suffered the Moto bug. Sees the card, immediately gets drawn off the top.
And we have Raven's Cry.
Raven's Crime gets a card out of Chris Corsi's hand.
And it has Retrace.
Yeah.
I know this because when I used to play Modern, I played Living End. And that was... Living Death, Living End was...
Living End.
Living
It's
End.
Living End.
Yeah. And that was one of the key cards in it to get your discards out.
Huh. Interesting.
Well, we played it in sideboard.
Okay.
I believe Chris should be at 18 because he paid 2 for that Hallowed Fountain.
Oh, you are correct, sir.
And he's retracing
Wow, and you got the Zathrid and the
Mayor of Havenbrook. Man, I remember whenever Mayor... Oh, and here's our old buddy, Ethersworn Canonist, and ticks up for 2 for the champion.
Let's see. Unfortunately, Liliana would not be the best right now on this board.
No. There's a Shrieking. Yep.
Well,
So if you were playing
Just-
8-rack against aggro decks like this, would you put anything in sideboard to kind of combat like a nice little sweeper, like a Damnation, or what would you...
actually, probably a Bontu's Last Reckoning. I think would
yeah.
work.
For anyone who doesn't know what Bontu's Last Reckoning is, it's 1 black for a sorcery, destroy all creatures, but your lands don't untap for a turn. Which, I mean, if you're playing 8-rack, it doesn't really matter, in a sense. Because your board's always going to be active as long as you have the rack or Shrieking Affliction or something like that out.
And with your Smallpox, you tend to knock out a lot of lands on your opponent's side, so their ability to reflood the board after with you tapped out shouldn't be nearly as bad.
Yeah. And we have a Windswept Teeth cracked. So Chris goes to 17 as he finds...
Probably going to be a dual land.
Yeah. Well, I mean...
Let's see what we got. Oh, no, Basic Plains.
Well, he also has a Manus Rider in his hand.
He does.
So that's probably what's going to be played. The Ziggurat will probably be the red source for it.
I guess the
I guess he got the planes because he didn't want to lose too much life.
yeah.
And here's the Manus Rider.
This feels like it's going to be a flat-out race, and with the 5-color rainbow lands that they have in this deck, your the mana that you actually need.
Oh
the
my goodness! So we're getting 5/8. Ooh. Oh, there's a Murderous Cut.
Yep.
So instead, he just takes 5.
Yeah. Still not the best for Paul Mills right now. Definitely needs to get that Manus Rider off the board.
There's a Raven's Cry, and that gets rid of the Noble Hierarch, which I don't know if I would even play it at this point, because I'd rather just hit for 5 rather than 4. Gosh. Mantis Rider is so good for a 3-drop.
Yeah. It is.
And another 5, which takes him down to 6. And another Noble Hierarch. This is the second time this game where Paul Mills has discarded or forced Chris Gorski to discard a card only to have RNG say, no, you're meant to have this. And Urborg with Smallpox. I don't believe... Well, I guess this gives him another turn.
Yeah. No, it won't.
No, it won't because he loses a life.
Yeah.
Oh, no. That is... Good game, Chris Gorski and Paul Mills. Chris Gorski takes the match 2-1. I guess that's the one thing that I personally dislike about discard decks is that, yeah, you're forcing the opponent to discard cards, but unless you have like a lot of spot removal or something to get rid of the creatures on board, discarding really doesn't mean anything in a sense. I mean, you get some threats out of your opponent's hand, which is really good. He got Mayor of Avonbrook and the Zathrid Necromancer, but
there's the Bontu's Last Record.
Oh, there is Bontu's Last Record. See, Paul Mills knows where it's at.
Yeah, unfortunately, you really want to be able to disrupt their game plan with the discard and the ability to destroy lands. Unfortunately, the humans deck is just chock full of creatures that they can get on the board rather quickly, and with the Aether Vial, they can largely get around your land destruction.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that I saw that wasn't a creature spell in Chris Gorski in both games that we were paying attention was like Aether Vial was the only non-creature spell that he plays.
Yeah.
Or he played, at least from what we saw. We don't have deck lists up here, so we can't confirm nor deny that, but it seemed like Chris Gorski did not have like any pump spells, which I guess you don't really need.
No, those decks are normally
because your humans just kind of help each other out.
Yeah, normally humans deck doesn't run any non-creature spells other than Aether Vial. So no, it's just chock full of creatures to try to avoid inconsistent draws. You want to be able to, you're an aggressive deck. You really want to be able to put pressure on them, and you need to start running out creatures 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Well, not 4, but
yeah. You need to basically play. You need to hit your 1-drop, your 2-drop, and your 3-drop all.
You need to play on curve.
Yeah.
All right.
Well then, we will be back as soon as the next round shows up.
Yeah, unfortunately, we started later than the round did here because of our technical difficulties, so I don't think there's any more games being played. Pretty sure this is the last one. We will go look to see if we can get somebody else, but most likely we will be back for round 2.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
Oh, time remaining. Oh yeah, we have to.
Yeah.
All right. Do we stop?
Yeah, you can stomp.
Bad format. Oh, cool. There it is.
All right, then. We got that going.
All right. So are we unmuted?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Welcome back to round 2 at Four Horsemen Modern Night Magic. I'm Alan, and this is my co-host over here.
Sean.
And we have Ryan Wolf playing Mardu Walkers versus Bob Levdansky playing Grixis Shadow, a more popular deck in Modern from what I've heard.
Yeah, Bob's been playing this deck for a while now. It's kind of become... Yeah. He doesn't really switch off decks too often.
Hey, that's actually... Ryan's taking a mulligan.
Yeah, and Grixis is probably one of the better decks in Modern right now, so...
And, I mean, if you like a deck and it's good, I mean, I would just continuously play it.
Yeah,
But,
I mean...
like, in Friday Night Magic or something, I know after a while I get bored of certain decks, but I just don't have the resources to continuously pump out, especially in Modern, because of how, like, extremely... It's not like Legacy, where it's kind of like every dual land that you buy is like an investment.
Yeah,
because
every
you'll
card,
always use them again.
every card in Legacy you buy is an investment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the people on this stream will know I'll play almost anything at Friday Night Magic, and I've done that on multiple occasions.
I remember when we went to Philadelphia and you played that janky Tesserator with what was the spice card that you threw in there? You threw something in there that was just that threw off the other guy.
I have no idea.
Oh, and we're starting. We have a turn 1 untapped Watery Grave into Seer Visions.
Tesserator's not that janky.
I didn't say Tesserator was janky. I'm just saying the one that you played, you were like, this is the jankiest Tesserator I've ever seen. And we have Ryan going for Thoughtseize, I believe. He
Most
cracked
likely.
a Bloodstained Mire. Ooh. It's almost as if you're playing against 8-Rack. Look at all those discard spells. Thoughtseize, 2 Thoughtseize, an Inquisition,
Different
Thought Scour, and Terminate.
different art Thoughtseize. That is a flavor fail right there. I'm not a fan of that.
I like it. I love... If I can have 4 different ults of Thoughtseize, I'd do that. And there's Inquisition. There goes Lightning Helix.
Oh, we got an Omnixilus.
Ooh. And lands.
It's like a Marsh Flats. Is that Inspiring Vantage, Bloodstained Mire, and then the Omnixilus.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
Thoughtseize is going to take
And
out
he's going to take the other one, too. Yep. Now, Ryan is in a not-so-good place right now, having only lands, and most of them coming to play tapped. Well, not the 2 fetch lands, but the man land. And he... Ooh, that's actually pretty good.
That's definitely a good card. And I don't think Bob would want to Inquisition again.
Yeah.
Seeing a hand of all lands. Oh, he might go for
Oh.
it. Nope.
Oh.
Thoughtscour.
Thought Scour himself. Milling 2. And there's a Tassiger.
Is that 2 Tassigers?
I can't see.
Drew a land off of it.
And he goes to 17. 10. I don't know. Oh, yeah, because he thought he's like a lot. We haven't been keeping track of that.
Get that up to date. Yeah, he shocked it.
And he fetched and shocked.
Well, he might fire off another
Whoop.
position.
He has a Death Shadow in his hand.
Oh, did he draw a Death Shadow?
Yes, he does. There it is.
That was the concern, that he had a lot of disruption, but he had no gas in his hand. He had no way to actually put pressure.
And Ryan
on
goes
Ryan.
to fetch.
Yeah, should put him down to 16. Getting ready to play that Lingering Souls next turn.
Oh, yeah. Lingering Souls was such a powerhouse card.
It's really good against Death Shadow, but he needs other cards around it.
Yes.
It alone is not going to be a Death Shadow deck. but it is very good for gumming up the works.
At least Death Shadow doesn't have trample. or flying or anything. Well, boom, there it is. I remember
It's
in
2 tokens. You got that.
standard, that card was just so good, and everyone said this card's just jank. And then black-white tokens came out with the Sorin. Oh, and we have Magikarp, I guess. Those are spirits, by the way, and Serum Visions. I can't see the other card in Ryan's hand. He has a land still.
You should have a Marsh Flat.
He has a Marsh Flat, and there's something else. Well,
The
that's
Death-
the easiest.
Yeah, the 3/3 Death Shadow really wasn't in danger getting in there.
Yeah.
Easy block.
Would you have taken the 3 off of Death Shadow to save spirits in case
Probably not.
for later?
No. He's already at 16.
Is that another Lingering Souls in his hand that he just drew?
I'm not
I
sure. I didn't get to see it.
Well,
Nope.
there's one in the air, so he gives a 7.
Oh, it is. All right. Okay, now,
Now we're in
now we're in business here.
we're gonna have 5 spirits on the board flying, and that's
If he draws another land, you could just play it and flash it black. And with all these spirits, that Death Shadow's going to have a tough time getting through.
now in Modern. Is there anything that like just pumps out just tokens or creatures of the same name? Like, is BioBlight still not seen in Modern for stuff like
No.
this?
No, tokens are not nearly popular enough to warrant a BioBlight.
I actually remember watching you play Modern not too long ago, and you played Orzhov. Was it Orzhov Walkers?
Yes, that was. This is actually what Ryan's playing right now is actually where that deck started, and eventually I just shaved out the red and just made it black-white. So I do have a soft spot in my heart for Obnixilis.
Oh, and look at that.
I have no idea what that
I
is.
think that's Red
Sacred Foundry? I think it's a
Ooh.
Sacred Foundry.
Sacred Foundry?
So I don't think
I'm
that's
not
a
sure.
Goddess Shrine. Unless it's a Blood Crypt, but that looks like an
That might be a Blood Crypt.
I don't know.
I can't see. I think it says Plain Swamp.
No, that's probably definitely got to be a Sacred Foundry.
Oh,
He's already got
Dreadbore.
He's already got a basic. Oh,
There it is.
there goes that. Now Bob is in a lot of trouble.
Well, he has a Terminate in his hand, so he
I
can
mean,
alleviate one, but then
he can
there's
kill-
another Lingering Souls in his graveyard.
No, it's still in his hand. He hasn't.
Oh,
cast
he hasn't
it.
played it yet?
No.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so there's 4 more Spirit Tokens coming. Terminate's not going to stop.
And there's another Thought Scour.
Yeah.
Into a Snapcaster? Is that what that was?
I think so. Yeah. Unfortunately, the Terminate is.
Oh, yep, there's the Lingering Souls. It's in his hand.
Mhm.
Oh, and a land. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter if you just play Lingering Souls. But
No.
do you keep the card in your hand to bluff, or do you just play the land?
I think it's a man land, so I would definitely just play
I think
that
it was
up.
another Inspiring Vantage, or whatever it's called, the red-white fast land. Up, and we go to game 2. So Mardu Planeswalkers wins game 1 over Grixis Shadow. Now, if you're Ryan and you beat, Grixis Shadow, would you feel more confident in it? Because I know Ryan as a player, and he likes playing prison type decks and stuff like that, and sometimes he just likes to brew random stuff. Do you think this is one of his random decks, or is this actually one that you think that he put like a good bit of time and thought and process into this?
Well, I'm sure he did either way, but this is definitely a brew. But honestly, this is probably a very good matchup for Mardu Planeswalkers, because that deck is just filled to the brim with removal and Planeswalkers. things that Grixis Shadow really can't deal with unless they can actually counter it. And a ton of spot removal is bad for a deck that only runs 10 threats.
So you actually Ryan actually showed you his deck, correct?
Yes.
What planeswalkers did he play?
I remember seeing a Ajani Vengeant, Ob Nixilis, a couple Chandra Torture Defiance, a couple Gideon of the Trials, and Elspeth Sun's Champion.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's so weird seeing Elspeth Knight Errant just kind of fade into the background.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think there are other 4-mana planeswalkers that do a better job.
Like a Johnny Vengeant, I think. I like that one
Johnny
a
Vengeant's
lot.
good because it can. I mean,
It can
again,
lock down Grixis Shadow
Yeah.
with whenever he attacks.
Yeah, that's very good against Grixis Shadow when they have one huge threat. Johnny Vengeant really shines in that situation. And then Gideon, ally of Zendikar.
Yes, also his
probably
zero.
does a better job than Elspeth.
Yeah.
In that regard.
So if you're Bob, what would you sideboard into? Well, you don't know. You just saw tokens.
Yeah.
You just saw tokens. You saw an Ob Nixilis from your Thoughtseize.
Yeah.
What would you like? Is that enough information to go into sideboarding? Like, it seems like Ryan just drew a bunch of lands and Lingering Souls.
Yeah. I would probably look for probably more counter spells. Anything like a negate, or anything that can actually deal with spells. Because it did not look creature heavy at all. You did not see a single creature out of his deck. So I would assume that your hard removal, your spot removal, is not that good. The Terminates need to be out of the deck.
Yeah.
Fatal Pushes probably need to be out of the deck. You need ways to deal with
multiple.
Sweepers or just non-creature permanents.
And we can go back to Bontu's Reckoning. Take the shot. If you're playing black, Bontu's Last Reckoning. I almost flipped out. I looked back on the screen. I saw Death Shadow, but it kind of, in a way, I thought it was Bontu's Last Reckoning. I was really, really excited.
Yeah.
Would you, I think Ryan Wolf could play it. You were playing Planeswalkers. It doesn't affect Planeswalkers.
Yeah, no, he could definitely play it.
But if you're playing against Grixis Shadow, well, he did see a bunch of graveyard cards too from all those Thought Scours, the Tassigers.
He knows exactly what deck Bob's playing.
And Lightning Helix.
That's still in the deck.
Huh? I guess. Well, he saw how early Bob played his Death Shadow at 3, so I guess it's not a terrible thing. Plus, it also gives you life back. So it kind of alleviates.
Unfortunately, I don't think he has much in the sideboard to bring in. So because that's definitely one of his weakest cards. One of the reasons why Lightning Bolt. What?
Bob's at 17, going to 15.
Yes.
From a fetch to a shock land into a Thoughtseize. And Liliana, Last Hope.
Oh yeah, but yeah,
and lands again. A Planeswalker and another land. So he has a Planeswalker, which was Ob Nixilis, that was that, and then he had to discard Lightning Helix last time too. This is almost the same exact hand.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like Bob has more
Oh, and a Lightning Bolt. Old school too. I like it.
Oh man.
I think Ryan saw how quick Bob played his Death Shadow at 3.
Yeah.
Just to get damage in. And I think that's what he's banking on.
And it's possible.
Double fetches.
Because, unfortunately, the advent of Grixis Death Shadow and Death Shadow in general is what kind of pushed Lightning Bolt out of the format.
Now, if you saw Lightning Helix in your opponent's hand, you're playing Death Shadow, would you be nervous about the burn spells? That you and there's Lightning Helix, like I said. There it is.
I mean, at this point, you're definitely going to be just start throwing the. Oh well, you'd want to save your burn for going straight to Bob's head, but if you can't finish the game off, that Death Shadow will just kill you.
And how big is Death Shadow right now? Is it a 13-13 that gets -X for its life total and Tasigur?
Yeah, so it should be a 7-7 right now.
Yeah.
And we've got
I don't
4-5
know.
Tasigur.
Oh, I think Ryan.
Is that a Bantu?
No, that's not a Bantu. Wait, in his hand?
Yeah, I thought I saw it.
So we have a Death Shadow and Tasigur coming in.
So 7 should be 11 damage coming in.
I believe so. And Ryan was at 23, so that should drop him to 12, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, 9.
What?
Unless that Shadow got... No, they're fixing it. And a bolt going upstairs? I would hope so.
I mean, there's no other target. Yeah, it's going to 12.
And there it is, a bolt!
Another.
Oh my goodness. Off the top of the deck.
Wow, that was a quick match. Yeah.
Ryan Wolf. With Mardu walk, not many walkers hit the board.
Not a single one.
It was mostly just
Lingering Souls and
soul burn. It was soul burn. That's all it was. Lingering Souls.
I mean,
with burn. Oh, ooh, Celestial Purge.
Crackling
That's a
Doom.
good one. Yeah, Crackling Doom.
Layla.
With 2 of them.
Yeah.
And they're foiled, I think.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, he plays a lot of like commander. A lot of his cards are gonna be foiled out.
Those are only the 4 cards. Oh, look at all those that he put in.
Oh yeah, no, those are really good cards to bring in. Is that Flame Tendrils?
Yeah, it
Cosmic's
is.
Return, Staticaster, Engineering Explosive, just a ton of ways to deal with
The Lingering Souls, because
Yeah.
that's all he saw.
Yeah.
I mean,
a way to deal with tokens, which is huge against the Planeswalker deck. And a Dreadbore, which is definitely one way to get a Planeswalker off the board.
I did remember him saying that he had Oath of Gideon
And Oath of Chandra.
and Oath of Chandra in there. We didn't even get to see the fun land that he put in.
Oh yeah,
The Hellbent one.
the Keldon Megalith. Never been familiar with that card.
I think I hear everyone typing in their search bar what the heck that card does.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Ryan Wolf wins 2-0 over Bob Liptansky's Grixis Shadow. This was a quick match. We'll see if we can actually get another match in. I'll go see. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
The thing to see.
All right.
Okay. They're still sideboarding. I will stomp. 3, 2, 1. Okay. And since the last match kind of came a little quicker than we had hoped, we have Curtis Taylor playing Storm. I'm assuming red-blue.
Yeah, red-blue Storm.
And returning Chris Gorski playing his 5-color humans. Now, Curtis won 1-0, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
He won the first game.
So everything is correct on that you see on the screen. Now, Gift Storm. When I played Storm, it was just the old red-blue Pyromancer Ascension.
Yeah, that was...
The old days. Back when Eldrazi-tron was only red and green. There was no blue Tron, I don't think, at that time.
Yeah, no, the current Gift Storm lists do not have Pyromancer Ascension. They run Baral alongside of Goblin or Electromancer. And their goals are basically to just fire off a ton of rituals, fire off Gifts Ungiven, go get a suite of rituals, Manamorphose, more Gifts Ungiven, a Pass in Flames, and probably the Grape Shot, and just play out of the graveyard until you get a lethal Grape Shot. Unfortunately, 5-color humans is pretty bad matchup. Because they run...
Like we saw the Meddling Mage, you call Grape Shot. And they also plays... Is it Staticaster too, I believe?
He can. That will definitely come in for the... if he brings in the
Empty the Warrens,
Staticaster can deal with that, but he has, I think, main deck Thalia, which is terrible for Giftstorm to deal with. He has... We saw the Ether Sworn Cannon.
Oh yeah, we saw that.
Like,
and that was I believe in sideboard too, and he brought that in against 8-rack.
It could be sideboard, could be main board, probably sideboard. He has Kitesail Freebooters to strip cards out of his hand. Like, this is a very bad matchup for Giftstorm. That is one of the biggest things for 5-color humans, is it came out when Storm was on top because it had a great game 1 against Giftstorm.
Now, we were unable to see exactly Gift Storm going off and winning, but that had to have been really close.
Yeah. I'm assuming Chris couldn't find any of his Thalias.
Thalias or Meddling Mages, unless they don't run the main board.
I'm not sure what he runs main board. I think Meddling Mage is probably main board. He's probably... I don't know if he's running... Because there are listers for Meddling Mage main board. So I do not know what type of deck or what version Chris is playing tonight. But I do not think... Most Gift Storm decks cannot get a Meddling Mage off the board game 1.
Right, because they took the Lightning Bolts out, because why run Bolt if you're not having Pyromancer Ascension to continuously copy them and burst more down?
Yeah, no, the only way to actually deal with a creature game 1 is going to be Grape Shot. So Meddling Mage on Grape Shot game 1 will just end the game. Looks like they're looking at their hands for game 2. Is that I think a Cavern of Souls for Chris Gorski there.
He has a couple lands, and there it is. Cavern of Souls.
They're both keeping. There's a Thalia, I think. It looks like a Thalia, the first card.
I believe so. Sleight of hand.
We got a Spirebluff Canal into a sleight of hand. It looks like a Pyretic Ritual, and I couldn't see... Well, Pyretic Ritual's going to the bottom, so I do not know what he kept. Mana Strider is the draw for Chris Gorski.
Oh, Mana Strider. Oh, and Meddling Mage.
There's Meddling Mage.
There's Meddling Mage. But if you're Curtis, you see that he's playing human, so you got to put in Empty the Warrens. You have to.
And I'm sure he's got Lightning Bolts in from the sideboard. They usually run at least 2 or 3. So I can guarantee you those are in. There's the Freebooter. Gonna strip a card. Shattering Spree. There's a little spice.
I guess for the Aether...
It hits the Aether Vial, and it hits Ether Sworn Canonist.
Yes, it does.
Is that a Grape Shot in his hand? Yep. And 2 Manamorphose. Grape Shot's going underneath the Freebooter. Noble's going to get in there for 1.
First blood. And he took his grape shot. Well, now, do you feel comfortable as Chris Gorski knowing that that grape shot is just gone for now? Because I don't know how many Gift Storm runs. Probably around 2, 3.
I don't know how many are in after board. Usually trim on grape shot after board.
Because you know that's going to get hit by Meddling Mage, probably.
Well, if you're bringing in Empty the Warrens.
That too. There is a Thalia. That is a Thalia in his hand. I think he's just gonna play her.
Oh yeah, definitely. That'll be a very difficult card for Curtis to deal with. Yep.
Now, do you play Meddling Mage and say Lightning Bolt? To keep Thalia on board? Because Thalia, that he can't do that. No.
I think you meant to play the Meddling Mage.
Yes. Well,
yeah, there it is.
Surprise, surprise, Curtis. You got a free look at his hand. And
no, that's actually a really good name with that card. Because the only other cards that he could have to interact with would probably be like an Echoing Truth or Wipe Away, because they need bounce for non-permanence. Because the only other card that's in the sideboard for creature removal is going to be Lightning Bolt. It'd be nice to know what he named, but
I think if they're playing something like that, we should have them have like a piece of paper
yeah,
to like
normally
right
that's what
underneath
you do.
it. Yeah.
Fortunately, it does not look like they have that available to them downstairs right now. Well, looks like he fetched Intern, got a Steam Vents. Playing Delta. What is this? 2 mana Serum Vision.
I think Curtis is at 16.
Alright, get that updated.
Do you want me to
What?
do the
It's already done.
life thing? Oh, whatever. No, I want the mouse. So we have Windswept Teeth coming in for Chris Gorski. Is this another one? Oh, nope, that is the one before.
No, there's the Mana Strider. This is not looking good for Curtis. I think we may be going to a game theory.
I would believe so, too. I mean, you have a fetch land with we have 3, 4, 5,
It's a turn,
6, 7.
8 damage.
8 damage.
So we got a 2-turn clock.
With a Thalia on board, I
Three-
don't think Curtis can pull out game 2. But I think after sideboard and him going first, do you think Gift Storm should be black to go with some like removal and or some hand disruption? If you know you're in a meta, because I saw a good bit of humans, I saw a couple aggro decks. Do you think that would be? Oh, and there's Canonist. So if
There's
there's a scoop.
And there's every creature that we named earlier that are terrible for a Gift Storm player.
Yes. So that was. I'm gonna message Ryan and see if they could have them do.
Yeah, no, I think this is just a really, really tough matchup for Gift Storm. On the play turn 3, they might be able to pull something if Humans does not have a Thalia, or an Aetherstorm Canonist, or a Freebooter.
So if you're in Chris Gorski's shoes, what would you have said for Meddling Mage?
I would have said Lightning Bolt.
I would have as well.
Knowing
because the Grape Shot's not going to do much if you already have Thalia on board, and you know Thalia's in your hand. And the Gifts player is probably not going to try to semi-combo off just to get rid of that Meddling Mage or whatever to get your Grape Shot back, because that seems like it's such a waste of resources.
Oh, no, I would do that.
You would?
Heartbeat, yeah. That's one of the benefits of this Gift Storm deck. When you can actually get, like, the Gift
they
Storm
run Past in Flames.
Yeah.
It's not... I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. especially since I said that I used to play Storm and we played Past in Flames. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good. We all know.
Listen, I normally only play casually with like Commander and stuff. So if we get a Commander stream up here, we could sit up here for 5 hours and just
play half a game.
Play half a game, yeah.
I do not know how well that would go. Not to mention there would be many more cameras that we would need.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. No.
Well, we can set up a Patreon account or GoFundMe. We can do multiple things. We could just have Ron just shell out the money to do this. Ron, we need more money. Our budget needs to go up.
Do not know how much he'll be into shelling out a ton of money just to get Commander.
Oh, he'd love it. But I did message Ryan, and they will now have a pen and paper down there to, if they have anything that they have to name.
That's good.
So they can write it down.
Yeah, that is the one thing I do enjoy, having my boogie board there.
Yes.
Whenever I'm in on the camera, I'll still have the boogie board there to track life and to write anything down for the commentators if something needs to get named.
Yeah, help us out. We can't hear you down there.
Oh man.
So I didn't see if they sideboarded or not. If you're Chris, I think I would just keep it the same. He drew his Thalia, he drew his Meddling Mage, he draws everything. He has the greatest luck when it comes to drawing stuff, as we saw in the last game. Every card that got picked out, he just drew it right back. Like his deck just said, "Okay, you drop this in the bin. I found this for you." And we have, I think, a freebooter in Chris Gorski's hand.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, I don't think Chris probably needed to do too much in the way of sideboarding. Their main board is really well set up to deal with the Gift Storm deck.
And there's that turn 2 Manus Rider. The 2-mana Manus Rider. And a Noble Hierarch? Well, that can be a turn 2. Yeah. That could be a turn 2.
Although against Gift Storm, he'll probably want to get a freebooter or a Thalia in play.
Yeah.
Manus Rider is going to be the last card you really want to play to actually just finish the game out.
I guess we're calling humans.
Yeah.
And Aether Vow. Ooh. Well, Shatterstorm, or whatever it was. Shattering Spree.
Mm-hmm.
Shattering Storm was the buyback one. The insanely expensive buyback one. So Curtis goes to 19. He fetches a island off Polluted Delta.
I'm betting he probably has Baral or Electromancer right here. He didn't have a turn 1
play either. Oh,
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just as... We got a Goblin Electromancer out on the board. And if anything, that is a 2/2 blocker.
Technically, you are correct. But right now, he needs to play his freebooter or his Thalia. He needs some way to interact.
Oh, there's the freebooter.
We get to see his hand now.
Ooh, Lightning Bolt, Grape Shot, and Manamorphose with 2 lands.
Alright, well, he is not in any danger of...
Do you take the Grape Shot so he'd waste the Lightning Bolt on that to get it back instead of it going upstairs?
I would take the Lightning Bolt to make him use the Grape
Shot early.
Yeah.
Ooh. I think I would have waited until the end of his turn. Until the end of Curtis's turn to put in Noble Hierarch.
That is fair, although I do not know how much it will actually change Curtis's decisions. So I don't think he's really losing much. Well, I take that back. Now it'll be available for him to kill with a Grape Shot right now.
Yeah.
So Probably a more ideal play would be to wait until he fired off the Grape Shot and then put the Noble Hierarch in play.
Because now it's Storm Count 2, I believe.
Yes.
Well, it would be Storm Count 2. And Goblin Electromancer, I mean, all he has to do is find another blue spell and he can... Is it a 2/2 flyer?
No, it's a 1/1.
It's a 1/1?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, he could just get rid of both of them.
Yeah, he's got them both covered right now.
And he has to pay 1 red.
Yeah, so he could fire off another Seer Visions or a Sleight of Hand, any type of card draw spell.
Or Manamorphose, too. Bam.
Wow.
And is he getting out dice for us?
Oh, man.
Oh, you're such a champion. Curtis, thank you. Oh, there's the red, so he gets a 1/1. Seems...
I did not... I don't know if I would have fired off the Manamorphose unless he drew like a Gibson Given.
Well, does he know that Manamorphose only costs... Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. The one was... I guess his hand was blocking the islands, so I thought he, like, tapped out.
Yeah.
So he has...
2 mana is pulled right now.
Oh, man, do you think he could just go off now? If he, like,
I don't
drew?
think so. Like, his hand... He did not have a lot of mana producers in his hand. Like... So I do not think he's not going to be able to kill him. Unless he drew a Empty the Warrens. Even then, I'd rather just fire off a Grape Shot.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure about the use of Manamorphose right now.
Yep, there's a Grape Shot.
Yeah.
1/1. And your bolt comes back. Kept it warm for him. And cracks for 2.
I'm gonna check. I'm pretty sure Freebooter's a 1/1.
I don't know if it's my eyes going or if the stream is just like a little bit blurry.
Oh no, it's a 1/2. My mistake.
It's a 1/2?
Yes, it is a 1/2. Thought it was a 1/1.
And I think Chris was... Well, he did play Serum Visions into Manamorphose.
Fair enough.
Yes. So he did... and here's Mana Strider.
That makes a lot more sense now.
So fast.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I do not think it will not be fast enough to actually race. If he actually has the ability to go off. His hand looked pretty weak, unfortunately, the last time I saw it.
Well, he did draw off Manamorphose, so we didn't see that. And he does have a bolt in hand.
Yeah. Yeah, he got his bolt back.
So he does have that.
So he does have an answer to the Mana Strider.
But man, does that Aether Vial on 2, I'd be so worried if I was Curtis, because all he has to do is, as soon as he thinks that he's going to start comboing, boom, Aetherstone Canonist, Thalia, just... Ooh. Well, now I would feel a little bit better if I was Curtis.
Yeah.
It's at 3, unless Thalia's in his hand. I don't believe so. Is that another Mana Strider in his hand? No, it's not. Okay, so he just hits for 3.
Yeah, most of the extremely problematic cards out of Farcaled Humans is going to be at the 2 slot. So, not having that at instant speed.
There is a champion of the Parashout. Man, 5-color humans is just so synergistic. Like, it doesn't seem like it, because you just have it just seems like you're just throwing out a bunch of... Oh, Chris Gorski's throwing out... Fiend Hunter.
Well, there goes the cost reducer, so...
Well, I mean, Bolt does... How much is it? A 2?
It's a 1/3.
It's a 1/3?
Yeah.
I mean, like, you kind of waste a resource to get it back. And it still goes up on your storm count, but it just doesn't go upstairs.
Yeah. And it means he's not going to be able to take care of that Mana Strider. So
Right.
So that can cut down on the draw steps. Looks like they finally remembered the counter on champion. Yes.
I mean, sometimes when you're just in the moment, you just kind of forget your triggers.
Yeah, and it looks like Curtis let him have it.
Yeah.
Good guy, Curtis.
Curtis, good job. It is also Friday Night Magic, so it's not like it's a PBTQ or however many letters you can throw in for a magic event.
I see a Desperate Ritual. There should be a Lightning Bolt still there.
Yep.
I think a Manamorphose. So unfortunately...
Well,
nope,
another grape shot.
Oh,
two bolts.
He could wipe
he can,
his board right now.
He could wipe his board.
I
think I would bolt that first.
Yeah.
And then I would bolt...
You could bolt the Fiend Hunter, bolt the Mana Strider.
And then grape shot 2 and 1 upstairs.
That would take care of this board pretty cleanly.
And Chris Gorski only has 1 card in hand.
Looks like this... Yep, take out the Fiend Hunter. He's going to take out the Mana Strider now.
I mean, you have to get rid of that Champion of the Parish.
Oh yeah, you can't let any more counters get on that guy. If you can kill him this early, then that's definitely something you want to do. And it'll give you so much time to try to find a Gifts Ungiven.
Because I don't know how many Mana Striders are in Chris Gorski's deck.
Probably 4.
Probably 4?
Yeah. It's probably one of the best humans you can have in terms of just the pure aggression.
Now, is it a human insect because it rides a Manus?
I think it's a human wizard.
Human wizard?
Or human monk.
Oh, yeah, because he was Jeskai, so that would make more sense. So we have Storm Count 1 so far.
Yep.
Going into another bolt.
Looks like we're going to bolt the Mana Strider.
I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter. I mean, you do hit 1 off Chris Gorski's life.
It's a little bit more efficient.
Yeah.
And when you're trying to count damage with a grape shot, any point of damage you can sling in his head is going to be good.
That was the worst thing about playing Storm, was how much math I had to do, and I hated that. Oh, man, I remember that Modern tournament, whenever me and like Bilo and Ryan and all them went down, and there's the grape shot, and I kept going to time playing Storm, because that's back when Birthing Pod. And Birthing Pod, I didn't realize it at first, but that was a horrendous matchup for me. I just couldn't deal with anything. And that's also when Wild Nacatl came back. So zoo decks were becoming a thing, and now we don't see Wild Nacatl.
Yeah, well, thankfully with the new build with the Gifts Ungiven, not nearly as much math involved in playing Storm right now. In ideal conditions, you're able to just fire off. And not really have to worry about it, because Gifts Ungiven will just find you so many resources with Past in Flames. You don't have to worry about your storm count as much. Unfortunately, we got a Aethersworn Canonist off the top, which will put a kibosh on Curtis's plans.
Man, Chris Gorski with these rips off the top of the deck when he needs them. But then again, Curtis did just play like basically like his whole hand.
And I mean, the 5-color Humans deck is chock full of creatures that are very bad for a Gift Storm deck. So,
would you have swung with knowing that your life's at 9? Would you have swung with the Goblin Electromancer and just saved it in case, Canonist was going to attack? Because right now, like, getting that thing off the board is like, you need that gone. That just has to be gone. You can't play your deck. That card literally just shuts down Curtis.
Yeah, no, you have to get that Canonist off the board. So I would offer up that trade.
Champion of the Parish, I think.
Not the best as the last card you play, but considering the number of humans that can come off the top of the deck, he can get bigger.
His whole deck is nothing but humans.
Yeah,
that's all the lands that he has in his deck right there, and the rest are just humans.
That is not true. Chris would love for that to be true.
Oh.
I should get a counter on.
Oh, a swing for 3. Do you take it or do you block? Oh, he just takes it.
I mean, you have to take it at this point.
Manamorphose. Here we go. What are you going to... Manamorphose at the end of the turn. Interesting.
With the Canonist, he has to dig for
That's true. Oh, man.
I think he might
The
be dead.
hand... Yeah, the hand signal
Yeah.
was... That looked like an aggravated draw. Like...
He looked very dejected. And there's a Meddling Mage off the top.
Oh my God. And you know that there's a grape shot. All right, would you just call Lightning Bolt on that? Because right now, he's only at 4. You know, Lightning Bolt is an instant answer to Champion of the Parish.
I would probably name Lightning Bolt. Yeah, definitely Lightning Bolt.
Mm-hmm.
Because
And then you swing for 4.
Grape Shot doesn't do anything right now with Canonist on the board. There's the Chump Block to keep lethal damage from hitting him. I think this will be his last draw.
I think this is it,
Yep.
and that's a good game. Chris Gorski, 5-color humans, taking down both 8-Rack and Gift Storm.
Yeah.
And we have 4 minutes and some change. So I don't think that we're going to get another game in.
No, we should be done here, unfortunately.
To empty the Warrens.
The Lightning Bolts.
And he also had a Dismember. 3. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Like, you put 3 of those in and you don't see any of them.
Yeah.
But he also didn't get a lot of draw power. Like, there was there was no sleight of hands. There was no Serum Visions.
I think he had like 1 Serum Vision. No ops. Yeah, no real way to draw cards, unfortunately.
Man, Ethersworn Canonist is just
Oh, yeah, no, that card.
Bomb.
That card is a house against Gift Storm. You have to get it off the board.
Well, even against the last, like he put it in too, and it seemed to work because multiple discard spells. Like he put that in, I guess, because he saw the Raven's Crime.
Yeah.
And that stops multiple retraces. Which, it's really nice to play cards from your graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm gonna pay a black and discard a land to make you discard a card. I would do that as many times as I possibly could if I was like a hardcore grave deck.
I guess
like Living End.
I guess he didn't bring in the Echoing Truth.
Maybe. Do you think he would have it? I would have it.
Yeah. I guarantee you he has Echoing Truth or Wipe Away in his sideboard. He needs a way to bounce like a Grafter's Cage, Rest in Peace, something. Like any type of non-creature interaction. Oh well. It looks like we should be getting ready for
Ooh. All the cards I couldn't... Oh, is that what he cited out?
Cited out the gifts I'm given?
Wow. And he cited out a Baral and a Shift Through the Sands. Or Peer Through the Depths.
Peer Through
Depths. One leads to another, leads to another.
Huh.
There's 3 of those things. Well, we will be right back for your round 3 pairings. So stay tuned. And thanks for watching. Do you want to get the time fixed? Okay, everyone. Welcome back to Modern Night at Four Horsemen Comics and Gaming. We are now entering round 3 with Tyler Wilson playing Eldrazi and Taxes versus Brandon Unger, Counters Company. Who do you think is the favored in this?
Honestly not sure. They're switched, yeah.
Well, no. Their win-loss record and stuff.
Yeah, I think they're 1-1 each.
1-1.
It really depends on how much removals Eldrazi and Taxes can find, and if Brandon can find his combo.
Can I say that I like those mats that they're playing on? I really do. And it's not because there's a corgi on it with a cat, too. Meow. So, let's see what we have here. I guess Tyler took the mulligan because he scryed.
Yep.
And we have a path.
Blade Splicer.
Ooh. Well, I guess that's good because you're playing the Displacer, so you get those 3/3 golems with first strike continuously coming in. I remember in Standard that card was pretty good too, because that's right with Restoration Angel too, in that same thing.
All right, looks like they're about to start now. Got a is that Corrupted Courtyard?
I think so. I never really played in Kaladesh, so I don't know. All I know is that it's a fast land.
Yeah, it's a black-white fast land.
Yeah, it's just a black-white fast land that plays Aether Vials on turn 1. And we have a Heath, which would probably be getting...
either a Basic Forest or a Temple Garden.
Temple Garden. There we go. Oh! Ooh. I think there's already a forest in his hand. Oh, there's a Temple Garden in his hand already, too.
I don't know how much white he needs, so he might be able to get away with just getting a Basic Forest right now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh. So we have an Overgrown Tomb instead. And he's shocking himself as well, bringing him down to 17.
Thinking probably a Birds of Paradise.
A two.
I did
the
play
birds
at one point.
Man, can they just reprint birds?
I mean, they did that for like 5 years straight.
Can they do it now? Can they bring it back? Can we bring back Birds of Paradise? It's just a 0/1 flyer for 1 that produces a mana.
Of any color.
Yeah,
and
it's just any other color.
Wizard is not happy about having 1 mana accelerants in Standard. So I do not think that will be happening.
Thalia.
And
Aether Vial seemed to tick up too.
Yep.
Well, I would hope so. There's not many 0 drops besides Memnite and Ornithopter.
Which are not played in this deck.
Nope.
Well, thankfully for Brandon, Thalia is not the powerhouse against Counters Company. There's a ton of creatures in this deck.
And looks like we're going to be seeing one now.
Well, the Devoted Druid. One half of the combo. Is there any white cards in Brandon's hand? I didn't know if I could see.
I don't think so.
Or not.
But remember that Tyler also has a Path to Exile in his hand.
Okay.
And a Ghost Quarter.
Well, he'll definitely want to path this Devoted Druid.
I think that's a Displacer in his hand too.
Looks like a Wasteland Strangler.
Wasteland Strangler.
Which there's no cards exiled right now.
Right,
so.
yeah, that's a Wasteland Strangler. And Aether Vial also ticked up to 2.
That could not see with that middle card.
Well, that's
the
Blade Splicer.
Okay.
Yeah. So he has Path, Blade Splicer. And he's swinging for 2 for Thalia.
That's an easy no block for Brandon.
He also fetched
Should be down to
14 for Temple Garden, tapped.
Yep.
16, that's not correct.
No, it's not.
Okay, so he took 2 from Thalia. He fetched and shocked and fetched. So that should be 14.
Correct.
I will let Ryan know.
Oh,
Oh,
here comes the pass.
and there it is.
Mm-hmm. So, yep. So, in response to the Vizier remedies, Devoted Druid is getting Path to Exile to make sure that Brandon cannot get infinite green mana. And
That's right, because the card says if a -1/-1 counter be put on a card, instead, place 1 less.
Yes. And now the Wasteland Strangler has a card in exile that it can go eat if he wants to kill off the birds or probably the Vizier.
I would probably go for the Vizier. Oh,
And we got
Leonin Arbiter.
yep, which means this Ghost Quarter's turned into a strip mine right now.
And for those of you who don't know, Leonin Arbiter says any player, so that means Tyler too, must spend 2 mana to search their decks. But what most people don't know is that that's for the whole turn. A lot of people think that you have to continuously pay 2.
Oh no, they just pay for it once and you're good.
I'll just wait. Dude.
Alright, so we go into...
It looks like he swung and no block.
Nope.
So that should be down to 12.
12. He fixed it.
There we
Hey,
go. Yeah.
thank
Looks
you,
like
Tyler.
Brandon's having a little difficulty remembering to update the life total. To be fair, I had many problems doing that.
We have a Kitchen Finks. Now, does this deck run any sort of sack outlets so he can continuously go infinite with the persist?
He should have at least one Viserseer.
Ooh.
Is that an in-step Blade Splicer coming in?
I've always wanted to play Birthing Pod. I thought that was such a cool deck. Do you think that they would ever unban that card?
No.
Okay. And we have an Eldrazi Temple.
Unfortunately, that card was very powerful, and it basically pushed any other fair deck out of the format. And I do not think Wizards will want to go back to...
Oh, look at this. So he gets the life... Oh, that is a pretty sweet... He only loses 1, I believe, in the whole exchange.
Well, unfortunately, Kitchen Finks cannot ever kill Athalia with the first strike damage. So I think you might have been better served blocking the Golem token, getting it off the board.
Yeah.
He drew a basic swamp.
Well, if he wanted to company, he can now.
Yeah, he can definitely company now.
Oh. Ooh. Are we getting the Strangler out?
Probably.
Boom. Now, would you get... I would probably get rid of that Vizier.
Oh, definitely.
Get that off the board.
Because killing the Kitchen Finks right now doesn't really do anything.
There she
It'll just
goes.
come back. So now Kitchen Finks will not serve as an infinite blocker. Did not get to see what he drew.
Brandon, I believe, is at 13 because Kitchen Finks only gains him 2 life. And he's swinging with Athalia and the Golem token, which also has first strike.
Oh, it also? Oh, that's
Yeah,
the-
because the Splicer's out. The Splicer gives all Golems first strike. The only good one outside of limited formats.
You are not wrong with that. And we have
And
the
there's company.
5-mana Collector Company.
Now, why didn't he do that before, like, after declaring the attack step? To see if he could have gotten blockers or something. Because I feel like he just took 5 damage for... I mean...
I'm not sure.
Well, he's gaining 2, so he's back at 10.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that could have just been alleviated.
Now if he has a Vizier.
Ooh, if he had... Oh, man, if he has a Vizier. It looks like he's going to windmill it. He's... Yep, there it is.
Up, there's the Vizier.
Bam.
Does
Okay.
he have anything?
He has another Coco.
Alright. Because he's got to find a Recruiter. Or a Ronus.
Or you could just get more.
Alright.
Well, I guess that's pretty nice because if they get rid of 1.
Yeah, his combo is safe right now.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it does not look like he has a way to
He
win
does
the game.
have 2 more infinite blockers,
Yes. Those kitchen things can block for days now.
though. So now he's forced to attack with more than just
Yeah.
those 2.
Yeah, he's pretty safe now. Like, the board's pretty gummed up on his side.
And we are going to ghost quarter that. Now,
He can pay.
he could pay the 2 in response to the target. Yep. Well, I mean, he has infinite green mana
Yeah,
at any given
yeah.
time.
He has no problem paying for that.
Yeah, that Leonin Arbiter is now just a 2/2.
Yeah.
Just a 2/2 body. That affects only him now,
Mm-hmm.
which is... But I don't think Eldrazi Taxes
They
even
don't-
looks through the deck,
No,
so
they
I don't even
they
think it bothers him.
They don't play fetch lands because of that reason.
So now we just have a 2/2 for 2.
Until he gets the Devoted Druids off the board, which he will definitely need to do.
Now, would you get rid of the Devoted Druids, or would you get rid of the Viziers? I would get rid of the Viziers.
At this point, the Viziers.
Bontu's Last Reckoning. He's playing black. Take the shot.
A creature deck is not going to be playing Bontu's Last Reckoning, unfortunately.
Oh, man.
I know how
Next week, I will be under the feature match playing Bontu's Last Reckoning 4 of main deck.
That seems ambitious.
It seems ambitious, but I guess that's just the cost that I have to take.
Are you also going to be playing creatures in this deck?
Why? I'll just play Bontu and Ronus. I'll just play all the gods.
Fair enough.
Can't stop me.
I
I don't think I want to. See, I could play. There's the infinite combo.
there's infinite life. I do not.
And he had
the-
infinite damage.
what
He
was
had the whenever it
The red cap?
dies. Yeah, the
Oh,
red
okay.
cap. So he had infinite mana, infinite life gain, into infinite damage.
Yes.
Man, isn't Magic great? There's a 2-card combo that just stops you. A 3-card combo,
Yeah.
3 different ways to either gain you infinite life, infinite mana, and just infinite damage.
Well, it is a 3-card combo, and all 3 of the cards are creatures that are
That are
easily killed.
searchable, that are easily killed,
Yeah.
and easily searched for Coco. So you can even do it at the end of the turn and do it. It's basically Birthing Pod without the Birthing Pod, in a sense.
Kind of. A lot more random,
Mhm.
but... what is Eldrazi Taxes going to bring in to deal with this?
I can't see because it's face down.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I would take out the Arbiters
Arbiters
because
coming out,
yeah.
yeah. The Aether Vial is coming out.
Ooh,
Is
he's
that a
taking Tide
Cavern?
Hollows.
Oh, is
He
that
took out a
Tide
Tide Hollow, yeah. I love
Thalia's
that card.
not nearly as good against
Right.
a creature-based deck.
And Counters Company, well, the only damage that we've seen was just the red cap, like to ping something.
I know he has a Ronus in the deck. Because I saw that earlier.
And Ronus is grabbable with Collected Company.
Yes. Unfortunately, red cap is not.
Because it's a 4-drop, right?
Yes. So normally not a card seen in Counters Company.
But it gets the job done.
It definitely does.
Man, all we have to see is an Orzhov Pontiff. We need Malira. And we have the pod. we have the pod deck.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you throw in? Oh man, it's so weird seeing these decks and not seeing any sort of like. Even whenever we did see the blue deck, the Grixis Shadow, we didn't see any counters. Nothing. It seems like every game that we played that we've seen so far has been kind of fair.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Oh, was that a Gideon in his deck?
yeah, no, Gideon Ally Zendikar? Might have been. I didn't get a chance to see it. Yeah, well, the Gift Storm deck, it's not particularly fair.
Oh, that's right. We did see that. But, I mean, the fair deck humans made the unfair deck just...
I mean, that's the weakness of the unfair deck.
Yeah.
It can win very easily, but it can also be disrupted rather easily.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the trade-off. Unfortunately, in terms of counterspells, though, counterspells are not particularly good in Modern. There's just way too many things you have to deal with, and a lot of people can either get around them or ignore them, or just, if you don't draw them in at the right moment, not nearly as good. They can be pretty clunky, and decks can go under them pretty easily.
Mm-hmm. Well, you only need to play one counterspell. And it costs 4.
The clunkiest counterspell.
The most useful counterspell. A counterspell that has 4 modes that you can choose 2 of.
That costs 4 mana.
Yes. But if you run Birds of Paradise and Bontu's Last Reckoning to make sure that you can get that 4th land out, I think it'd be fine. Guys, play Bontu's Reckoning.
Oh, so you're just going to push Bontu's Last Reckoning?
I will push it real good. Bontu's Last Reckoning. It's just so nice. It's a 3-drop board wipe.
Mm-hmm.
And basically you lose your next turn.
Yeah, and you're on board.
Well, if you don't play any creatures, well, if you play the gods that are indestructible, then you don't need to worry about it.
That is true, but what are the gods doing with any other creatures around them?
Well, you can make some with Oketra, I believe.
True.
And then you can sacrifice in the Bontu. See, this deck is made. It's white black, Bontu Oketra, their Reckoning.
I cannot wait to see you play this deck.
I can't wait to pick up the cards to make this deck.
I will be excited to see you play this at FNM.
Do you have these cards?
I do not have any of these cards.
All right. Well, looks like we're getting.
Ooh, turn 1 Ghost Quarter.
We should have that. Brandon has won game 1. Well, you heard it here, folks. Next week, I'm going to try to get Bontu, and I have some nice Bontus.
Really?
Yeah. I have the Masterpiece, or whatever it's called. I have a stamped pre-lease one, and 2 regulars.
All right, then.
No catchers, though. And we have a shock into Birds of Paradise. Always a good turn 1. And another Path to Exile.
Unfortunately, does he have any more lands?
I think he might.
He led on the Ghost Quarter, which is usually a sign that he has no more lands behind it.
Oh, Shambling Vents.
Oh, okay. He needed to get the turn 1.
Yes.
Get the value down. He had no untapped lands.
Right. Which would not be a problem with Bontu's Last Reckoning. All right. Enough about that.
Thank
So
you.
we have Brandon at 17 with the fetch and a shock.
We've got the turn 1 birds. Zevea.
Is that also? Did I just see a Voice of Resurgence in Brandon's hand?
Yes, you did.
Oh, that card is so beautiful.
It's probably coming down. Yeah.
Yep. And I believe. Yep. And that's another. Is this another fetch shock? I believe so. I think I would just continuously fetch, maybe shock. Because Brandon saw Leonin Arbiter.
Yeah.
So I guess I would just want to get my searches out as quickly as I possibly could. Yep, and that's a shock for another bird. Bird of Paradise. 1 mana. When it enters the battlefield, deals 3 damage to you.
Not entirely accurate.
It seems like it. Fetch shock bird.
I got the Aether Vial up to a second Ghost Quarter.
Is that a Sword of Fire? No. Is that a sword in its hand?
I do not see that.
The second card, right there.
I see a Gideon and an Eldrazi Displacer.
Oh, is that a Displacer?
Yeah. Got a Leonin
Arbiter.
That I guess he's not planning on firing off the Ghost Quarters right now.
Do you think you would have just tapped the Aether Vial to get it in? That way you can... Well, that puts him back like 2 turns. That's so brutal.
And Brandon's already got 2...
And he has 2 birds.
Yeah.
So...
Especially with the Gideon in his hand.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Keep it!
I guess he's probably going to go after the Temple Garden.
I mean, it doesn't really matter because the bird can just produce it.
Oh, nope. Going after the Overgrown Tomb. I mean, he can try to strangle him on mana.
But I feel like he's just strangling himself.
This is a Thalia. Okay.
Yep. Okay, so... Not bad. I guess the birds don't deal as much damage. But once that token enters the play from Voice of Resurgence, that's when the problems will probably... Oh, and he has a path in his hand, too.
Yeah.
Does Voice of Resurgence say when it dies?
When it dies, yeah.
When it
So
dies.
a path will turn it off. Unfortunately, does not help with the mana denial plan.
I think I would have kept the Ghost Quarter up because he like I said, technically he has 3 lands now because the birds obviously can't. Well, they can attack, but they're 0/1s.
Yeah, they're not going to attack.
But I think I would have just kept my Ghost Quarter because if you top deck a land, I mean you would have Gideon out. Oh no, you couldn't because Thalia's out.
Well, if Brandon had another land, then he would have had mana up for Collected Company.
Mm-hmm.
So this is keeping him off Collected Company mana. I think there's no place for Brandon on turn 3.
Eldrazi Temple. So we have
We have a Displacer that can come in off the vial and has 1 activation ready to go. Don't know what he wants to actually flash.
because it only affects your creatures, right? You can only blink yours.
No, you can blink anything.
You blink anything?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's a nice faux blocker. It's like a Maze of Ith almost, for 3 mana instead of just 1.
Yeah. Do not know what other options Tyler has in his hand right now.
I mean, he has the path. He can definitely take care of the voice, but it's not really a problem as of right now. And if he does path, he just gives him Collected Company mana.
Well, what he could do is fire off the path, have him pay for the trigger, and then vial in the Displacer, activate, flash out his Leonin Arbiter, and require him to pay for it again.
That is dirty. So dirty.
Yeah? Oh, and it looks like he has the
Ooh.
Gavin
The Eldritch
Evolution.
Evolution. So that token now
Would be a 4/4.
would be it would be. It gets a power and toughness equal to the number of creatures you control.
Mm-hmm. And now he's going on the hunt for
Ooh, there it is.
Devoted Druid. So now,
But he still has a path,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not all too bad. And he does kind of have a displacer, but
Yeah, he'll be able to displace through this token
Mhm.
and basically kill it right now. Yep, there he goes.
Yep.
And now he'll be able to fire off a Ghost Quarter and a Path to Exile on that Devoted Druid without him being able to search. If he wishes to.
Path to Exile.
Path to
Targeting the that should be Exile, not in the graveyard.
Yeah. Got a swing for, what was that, 7 coming in?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes.
Now, Brandon's on the back foot right now. Needs a way to deal with these creatures. Let's see, Internal Witness, another Vizier. I think there's an Overgrown Tomb. Is that a Horizon Canopy in the front? no, there's
E-Witness. I can't see. We need a behind the shoulder camera,
Yeah, we
so we
do.
can see those, so we can see them hands. Now he does have enough mana for Collected Company.
He does. You can also Eternal Witness back Voice of Resurgence. Or he's gonna give back the Druid.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
no,
yep,
it's
it's exiled.
yeah.
See, the voice is yeah.
Unfortunately, does not match up well against a Displacer.
Right.
Uh,
And
Blade Splicer.
Blade Splicer.
This is a lot of damage.
It's because now you
It's
have your
actually lethal.
displacer. Yep. Now you have your displacer to displace your Blade Splicer if you need tokens,
Yeah. Although right now he can just
and another Ghost Quarter.
an Alpha Strike right now will just end the game.
Yeah.
He's got 2 3-power creatures that got to be blocked, and then 5 power on the other 3 coming in. Not much that Brandon can do about that one. So, as long as he just attacks all out, we should be moving on to game 3.
He's gonna displace. Keep it tapped. Yep.
Yep.
So.
It's another way to do it.
Yep.
Either way, game is over.
And now we're going to game 3. Not bad.
Not bad at all. Yeah, that's the power of the Eldrazi Taxes deck. They have a lot of disrupting elements on
Yeah, they do.
creatures with first strike, 3/3s, just
Oh, just even Displacer is just gross.
Mhm.
Like, even whenever it was in standard with Reflection Mage, Reflector Mage, I think.
Yeah.
Like, it was just so bonkers. I think there was another card that deck played, because it was also a Collected Company, because it was still.
yeah. With Eldrazi Taxes, if they're able to untap with a Displacer, it can be a very difficult thing to deal with.
Very annoying too
Mhm.
on the opponents, because it's like at the end of your turn, displace something.
Like,
Your turn.
You can blink out tokens, and then on his side, he can blink out. I don't know if he runs Fiend Hunters. He can blink out Stranglers. If there's more cards exiled, that he can kill more creatures. Being able to blink out the Leonin Arbiter to make them have to pay 4 mana.
So does that work with the trigger with Fiend Hunter, that you can make it permanently exiled?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was so annoying with Angel Serenity. I
Yeah.
hated that. I hated that. When Angel Serenity was in, I target your 3 things. With that trigger on the stack, I flicker it with Restoration Angel. They're just gone, because the card doesn't see itself leave, because I don't know, it was really weird.
Well, the triggers would go on the stack.
Yeah.
The leave trigger would go on the stack. It resolves, and then the exile trigger would resolve.
Mm-hmm. And then they're just permanently gone.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, isn't Magic just great? So many weird interactions when
Yeah.
you just learn how the stack and stuff like that works.
That's why everything that's been printed recently with those effects do not have separate enter and leave triggers anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They're all built into one trigger, so those kind of shenanigans can't be had.
Like Quarantine Field, I believe. I think says that.
Banisher Priest, I think, was the first one that I remember with the new rules in place.
I still remember whenever Wizards was like, "We're sorry for Dredge." Like whenever they're like, "We're sorry. We thought that this would actually hurt the deck." Ooh, that is a grip. We have 3 lands. We have a fast land.
I see a temple. I see the.
I see a
courtyard.
Blade Splicer. An Aether Vial.
I think there's a Shambling Vent in there.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going on with Brandon.
Brandon doesn't want us to
shuffling?
know. Yeah, I think he mulliganed. Maybe?
Okay. Down to 6 cards.
Or he just never... 4, 5, 6.
Yep,
Yep.
down to 6. See if he can find a good 6 to keep. Hopefully he does not have to go down to 5.
That's always the... Like, I feel so bad for my opponent when they have to go to 5. Or anything lower than 6, I feel bad.
Yeah, it looks like he kept the spread to the top. Shockland Overgrown 2.
And, is this a Birds of Paradise?
Probably a Noble.
Bam!
Oh.
Probably a Noble. Oh my goodness. Ooh, Cave of Koilos. Or Koilos.
Koilos. The white-black Pain Land, I think, was originally from Apocalypse.
The white-black one?
Yeah.
Yes, because the ally ones were in Ice Age.
Hmm.
Those were the original printings.
Yes.
But instead of having 2 lines, those ones had 3 lines.
Because they had the separate line.
They
for
had a
each
separate
color.
line for red, separate line for green, and separate line for colorless.
We have a turn 2 Voice of Resurgence coming down.
Another bird. This looks oddly familiar on Brandon's side of the board.
Yeah. We'll see what Tyler has. Path Exile would be a nice, clean answer to that voice. Oh,
Or another vial.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not good in multiples. You don't really want to draw the second and third one.
he fashion shocked.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh,
Well, that's a 3/3. Oh, he doesn't attack?
he didn't swing?
He didn't swing. Wait. Did he play... Oh, wait. Did he... Why didn't he swing?
Not sure.
Well,
There's that courtyard again.
ooh, Tide Hollow.
Is that a response? Is that
Coco.
a Chord? Oh, no, company.
No, that's a company.
He tapped 5, and I was like,
Yeah. He gave us the Frighten, and I guess his deck is giving him the Frighten too, because I see mostly lands. Oh.
found the Recruiter. and the Druid.
Ooh. That's
If he has the...
not where you want to be.
Is that the Green-White Cycler?
That might have been the new art for Horizon Canopy, I think.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if he finds a Vizier, the game ends.
Or another collected company.
Alright, so if he finds a Vizier out of these 6 cards,
There it is.
and this game should be over with. Because he can use that Duskwatch to basically search his entire deck for creatures, find Aronis, and pump something infinitely.
Or just get that... Oh no, it needs red. I was going to say, or you can get that red cap
Yeah.
and just go off like that too. Well, there you have it, folks. We have Brandon with Counter Company beating Tyler Wilson 2-1 with against Eldrazi and taxes. I almost messed that up.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I do think Counter's Company is probably favored in this matchup. Eldrazi Texas really doesn't. Their tax effects aren't nearly as effective against Counter's Company.
Because,
And with combo, he can just come from out of nowhere with a victory.
Also, Leonin Arbiter doesn't really hurt it because you're looking at the top five or seven cards of your deck instead of searching. So
Yeah, it doesn't
you
turn off
get
Counter's
around
Company.
that.
But it would turn off any of the Path to Exile effects.
Grafdigger's Cage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would have been so
So-
sweet to see.
The bane of Collector Company.
The bane of any sort of cheating your creatures in through your deck or graveyard. Is that a Rhetoric too?
Eidolon of Rhetoric?
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
Yeah, that it is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's that? Can't cast more than one spell?
Right. For some reason, I was thinking the Spirit of Labyrinth art.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, All good tax. Like, it seems as though they printed a lot of taxing, like death and taxes effects, especially in Ixalan. So many things that enter trigger, that enter tapped, cost one more, I believe, and I think a sort of not static orb, one that doesn't cause abilities to trigger. Was that also in there too?
I'm not terribly familiar with what's in Ixalan right now.
Well, we have 13 minutes left. I do not believe we will get another game.
Most likely not. We can take a look, but most likely we'll be coming back for round 4.
With the undefeateds, hopefully.
We might be able to talk them on the camera.
Yeah,
They usually draw.
yeah.
So-
They normally just ID and then, but we'll see if we can actually see if we can get them out. All right. This is Alan and Sean. We will take a short break and we will be back for round 4. Alrighty, everyone, welcome back. We are in round 4. We have Ryan Wolf going undefeated with Mardu Walkers on the left. And on the right, we have the return of Brandon. 2-1 with Counters Company. Now, we just saw Brandon, and the round before that, we saw Ryan. Both playing... I think I would give this game 1 to Ryan because he has a lot of hand disruption and spot removal.
Yeah, he does. He should be able to keep the combo off the board. Looks like
they mulliganed.
Did they both mulligan?
I think they both scryed. I know I saw Ryan scry.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I don't think they heard us. All right.
Yeah, they didn't hear the first one.
All right.
That's
So,
fair.
Ryan fetches. Let's see what he'll get.
Probably a Blood Crypt, I'm guessing.
I guess it's just Black X because it really doesn't matter. And it's he has Lightning Bolt in his hand, so Blood Crypt would be the optimal one.
Looks like some type of discard's happening.
Ooh, I think it's Thoughtseize. Ooh, Inquisition.
Probably gonna take out that. Do you want to hit the bird? Yeah.
I would hit the bird because I think he has He has another Inquisition in hand,
Okay.
and I think he also has a Lightning Bolt, and I think he has a Thoughtseize too,
Oh wow. And he just drew a
and a Terminate. Well.
This hand's gonna be getting ripped.
And the combo's there too.
The Vizier.
Oh man, and a Ghost Quarter. So we have Brandon at 19 and Ryan at 17.
Does he not have any more lands in his hand?
I don't
think-
believe so. Otherwise, I would have just No, he does not. He only has a Terminate and a Lightning Bolt in hand. Oh,
There's a
and
third card.
a sneaking one.
Is that a
I think it's Thoughtseize. It's just he didn't have another black
Yeah.
to get it.
Yeah, it's a Thoughtseize.
So once again, Ryan Wolf having a hand of nothing but removal, and maybe we'll see a Planeswalker hit the board this time.
I mean, that's basically all the Mardu Planeswalker deck is going to be Planeswalkers and a ton of hand removal and board removal.
Well, I was just going off of the fact that we've never seen a Planeswalker hit the board because it's always been discarded.
We have seen them, though.
We've seen them just not do anything besides go to the graveyard. And we have a Lightning Helix drawn. Yeah, and a Thoughtseize.
So now we're stuck with a Walking Ballista and 2 lands.
Oh, Walking Ballista seems really good if you make infinite mana.
Yeah, when you have infinite mana,
Everything is good.
Walking Ballista, not the worst card.
No, it's not.
Got a Horizon Canopy
Oh.
coming down and no play.
Ah, no planes. He does have spot removal, though.
Yeah, he'll have a Terminate and a Lightning Bolt for the first 2
Oh,
creatures.
and a
Brandon has.
Johnny. My boy.
Oh, did he draw a company?
I believe so.
Ooh.
It's 4, 5, 6. Collected Company is such a good card.
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, it could have been worse for Ryan. He could have had, at least well, I guess it is a part of the combo, but not to the extent of.
A Devoted Druid would have been a lot
Yes.
more worrisome, but Kitchen Prince is going to cost him 2 removal spells to deal with.
Yeah. And Brandon will also be at 24, in a sense, give or take.
Is this another company?
No.
Oh, no, Madcap.
Well,
Or Redcap.
that is. And he gets hit, well, before combat. Terminate that.
Terminating the Noble. Interesting. Ryan electing to attack himself. It's a fair assumption that he would probably attack.
Oh, all those white, like everything in his hand
Oh, man.
besides. Oh, Ryan's name disappeared. Well, there, and we're back. Welcome back, Ryan Wolf.
This is one of the more...
Oh, he ghost quartered his own land to get a plains.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've had to experience this pain whenever you're stuck on a color. It's not the best feeling in the world, but it will unlock the rest of his hand.
Yes. And if he draws another land, he'd be in good shape. I'd say if he draws like a land, so he can get into his other stuff, like... Oh. Ooh. So that gives him a token, 2 tokens, I believe.
2/1/1 tokens.
Which is nice, because now you have blockers.
Yeah, he'll probably double block to kill one to at least get the Persister, because both of these creatures will come back. They are not the best creatures to deal with through removal spells.
See, the infinite life thing is kind of annoying, because normally that's just a game over. But, like playing Commander damage, you don't really worry about it. But it's just so worrisome in this.
No, it's a rather effective...
And we're going to... I mean, if you were playing, like, Infect, I guess you can gain as much life as you want. I don't...
Well, the fear of the combo is always there. It's something you always have to play around. But the Collector Company deck can play a rather good, fair game.
And a Chord of Calling.
Or 2?
Yeah.
Vizier?
I think he's getting the Vizier.
Yeah.
Yep. So now he has infinite blockers. But I would just attack. There's no need to hide behind.
Yeah, no, you're on the aggressive foot.
Yeah. Oh, now that kind of blows in a sense, because now you have to waste.
Now you have to kill the Vizier.
You have to kill the Vizier, and then you're taking 5 again. Oh, okay.
It's at least gaining his life back. But he still needs to find a way to kill these creatures 4 times to get them off the battlefield. Like I said, if you're afraid of the combo, which is a fair thing to have to be worried about, these creatures can be highly annoying to deal with. Especially if you don't have any creatures of your own to just block them.
What was that in Ryan's hand?
Lightning Bolt,
A Johnny...
Terminate, which cannot be cast with the basic planes.
So, Oath of Gideon, does that give him another loyalty when they enter?
Yes.
Walking Ballista for 3. Oof.
Well, his mana is up. Is that a Fatal Push?
Fatal Push.
So that put him down to 5?
Yes.
Did he fire off the counters?
I would assume so. Bolt comes back.
See what
he didn't. Well, I mean.
Alright, yeah, I wouldn't have expected him to fire off the counters at Ryan's head in response to the Fatal Push. But... Well, the Kitten King comes back as a 2/1.
And.
Cannot get.
Man, Ryan is just getting.
He was stuck on mana.
Stuck on mana.
He's got a Fatal Push, which will probably kill off the... It doesn't even kill anything off right now.
Oh, collected... Not what you want to see.
No.
Another Kitchen Finks. There's a Watcher... Or Recruiter, I'm sorry.
Yeah, unfortunately he has no way to actually trigger Revolt, so that Fatal Push isn't going to kill anything on this board, aside from the Noble Hierarch.
Oh, Eternal Witness. Getting back company. Yeah. That's not a very winning... Oh, Lingering Souls was coming up. I believe like 2 cards down.
Yeah, unfortunately spot removal is not well suited against the Kitchen Finks that are Madcap, or Redcap. definitely need some more permanent way to remove them.
So,
What you bring in?
what do you bring in? Yeah, that's
Path is a good answer.
because Eternal Witness is just going to bring stuff back from the graveyard.
Wrath of Gods.
Ooh,
coming in.
look at all those.
Yeah, I think he's probably bringing in the Engineered Explosives.
Should probably bring it in Bantu's Last Reckoning.
It's not a card in the stack, I don't think. Pretty positive. Oaths are coming out.
Oh, the Chandra comes out.
I didn't see the things he brought out. The Oaths are probably going to come out. They're a little clunky.
The Gideon one wasn't bad. It gave him it. If he didn't play the Vizier that turn and forcing him to block, I think the Oath. Oh, and Hero's Downfall came out too.
They're a little clunky.
I feel like if the Vizier wasn't in play, the Oath of Gideon was actually nice. I mean, it's a 1-drop. 1-drop, right?
I think it's a 3-drop.
3-drop. Yeah, I think it is a 3-drop. I don't know. I think it's the Caster's Curse with Ryan because we have not seen a Planeswalker hit the board for him.
We have not, and he had that Ajani Vengeance ready to go.
Yeah, he did. Man, I really wanted to see my boy Ajani shine a little bit on camera.
Yeah, no, that would have been great.
If you want to do scroll.
Yeah, I got that updated real quick. Yeah, no, Johnny would have been able to lock down.
It would lock down at least one of the creatures for a while.
Yeah.
And with the new Planeswalker rule too, it's. I think Planeswalkers in general are just. I feel like some of them are just too, like, not too good, but I feel like it puts the game in a bad position. But that's just me. We have a Liliana the Veil, Fatal Push.
2 lands.
A
Probably a keep. I think I saw Dreadborn in there too.
Yep.
He's got removal.
That's 1 land though, I think.
He's got a second land in there.
Yes, he does. A fast land.
Yeah.
Well, he's on his colors.
He needs another black for that Liliana.
Yeah. I
Is
think
that a
I
land?
would.
I think I saw a 3rd land.
I think I would fetch for white black.
Yeah. Nope, red black.
I guess any of the 2 is fine because he has.
He already had the inspiring.
He already had the inspiring vantage, which.
And with all the lightning bolts and lightning helixes in the
Yeah.
deck, having multiple sources of red mana can be very important. Whereas white is probably less important to have multiple sources of.
Well,
He drew basic basic planes.
hey, at least he's drawing lands. You know, last game
Unfortunately,
wasn't really doing well in that department.
Unfortunately, that land will not cast that Liliana's hand.
Yeah.
So we will still be waiting for a Planeswalker to hit the battlefield.
Please, Ryan, get one on there. Don't make us lie saying you're Mardu Planeswalkers and you haven't dropped one. We see them, but we want to see them in action.
I mean, we have seen them, so it is technically a Planeswalker deck. It has not executed as a Planeswalker deck yet.
Right. And do we know if they're just playing for fun or if they're actually playing for prize?
I think they may have drawn, but I'm not sure since Brandon's sitting at 2-1. It wouldn't have been a clean draw.
Right. Alrighty.
Fetch Shock. Maybe a Devoted Druid?
Or a Vizier?
Oh, Voice. That's good.
Voice. Goatman. I gotta say, I think that's one of my favorite cards from that set, from that whole block. besides
Were there any other good cards?
in that block or in
That set.
that set. I think we had Blood Baron of Vizkopa in that set.
So no.
Oh, come on.
Where does SC play right now?
At the time, it was good. At
Yeah.
the time, that's still a good card. But for face value, I think that is the only card that's worth anything.
Hmm.
And this is why.
Oh, there's the. We got the Devoted Druid.
And we got the bolt for that. Would you have bolted the Druid to keep him off the combo?
No, I don't think that's important right now. He has multiple removal spells right now, and that would have been a lot more damage. Like the Devoted Druid can't put any pressure on him right now. And
I mean, if he drops the thing now, not
Yeah.
the thing, but the Vizier now.
oh, he has removal spells for it.
Oh,
Unfortunately, the one drawback is you do not turn off Collector Company mana.
right.
Oh, and you let it resolve?
Oh no.
And now we have infinite mana, unfortunately.
How big is Devoted Druid? Because he had to do it. Kozilek's Return.
He can still make infinite mana in response, which I don't know if he just did or not.
I don't know, but we'll see if he casts anything. He goes. He goes up to 20 because nope. He passed the turn.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's such a lucky break for Ryan.
Oh,
And a Dreadbore. Ryan cleans up.
yeah, unfortunately, he can respond to the Kozilek's Return by untapping the Devoted Druid with its ability and then proceeding to make infinite mana while the return is on the stack.
I think he didn't do it because he probably didn't have anything else in his hand.
That is possible.
Or he could have just forgot. He sees his board being wiped. I know I've missed a lot of stuff, so I can't blame Brandon if he did miss it.
It's a possibility.
But I mean, we can't see his hand because he's playing it off camera,
Mhm.
so we can't truly see 100%.
There's a Noble. Is this another kitchen? Nope.
Ooh, Knight of the Reliquary.
Oh. Not seen that card in a.
Elspeth as a
What's
creature. Oh, and it's gone.
Never mind.
Never mind, folks.
It looks like he had a Neil Spire off the top of the deck for Ryan. Unfortunately, another
That costs
land.
4 or 3 to activate.
I'm not sure.
I know it becomes a 2/1 double strike.
Yeah. But also, again, it is another land that does not produce black.
For his
So-
Liliana.
And Liliana is still stuck in his hand.
And Noble Hierarch gets in for 1. She's on the offensive this game.
You don't really see that too often, but
Ooh,
there's a
there's a Kitchen Finks. So Brandon is in a safe 21. He's in blackjack, folks. But
Ooh, there's an
Ooh.
Atonic Vengeance. You can use that to lock down the Kitchen Finks at the very least.
Kitchen Finks didn't attack. It doesn't tap the creature.
So not? Oh,
Nope.
Okay.
It makes something not be able to untap. Oh, he's just lightning
he'll just kill it
helixing.
off.
Well, the good thing about Planeswalkers is that they serve as a distraction from the player themselves.
Yeah, it'll soak up 3 damage.
So, Brandon is basically forced to attack a Johnny. Otherwise, that thing is not untapping.
Yeah.
He's also using my favorite art of a Johnny, which is the promo. And I think that's the last and only time that they did that, when they gave a pre-lease promo of a Planeswalker.
Huh.
Because that is the pre-lease art. Yep.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think Ryan would really love to keep the
See a black
Planeswalkers.
land. Another Liliana that costs 2 black. And a Collected Company. Ooh.
Man. If he finds the combo right now, oh, what is
He
that?
sees a bird and I think that's E-Witness?
Yeah,
Yep. Oh no.
Oh, the dreaded Eternal Witness, Collected Company combo. And outgrind any fair deck with that.
He basically just saw 7 cards on his draw.
Mm-hmm.
7. He went 7 cards deep.
Does he have any more removal spells in his hand? I don't think he
I
does.
don't think so. He has Lilianas.
He has 2 Lilianas. Yeah, he has that cannot be cast. 2 Lilianas and a Thoughtseize.
Yep.
So right now he is very vulnerable to the combo, and he has a Collect Company in hand. So hopefully Black Land.
Oh
Wrath of
no!
Well, now it's got to cross
Collected
our fingers.
Company. Another Knight of the Reliquary.
There's a
There's a druid. Man, he went through like what, 3 companies already? Another E-Witness
And a knight.
and a Knight.
Oh,
He
we're
well,
playing the super fair grind game right now.
a devoted druid did go on the bottom though.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter when you have a Knight of the Reliquary that's
At
huge.
this point, yeah, he has a massive board state right now. The 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, however many lands are in play or in graveyard for that night.
I think he's just asking that too.
Yeah.
This might.
It's not lethal.
It's not lethal, but it's definitely gonna. Oh, it's definitely gonna be that.
At least 10. How many lands did he have?
13. I don't think that's right. Oh, he's at 3.
Oh, 3.
Dang, 13 damage.
Jeez.
That might as well have just been an Alpha Strike. I don't think that there's anything. There is a Wrath of God, but that doesn't really save him.
No, because those two.
Because those Kitchen Finks, that Kitchen Fink is just good. Well, no, it does, because Kitchen Fink will come back
It's a 2-1.
if he remembers a persist trigger.
Oh. He just
Oh, he just had another collected company.
yeah. I don't.
Well,
yeah.
there's a Neither Reliquary, there's a Vizier. This game goes to Brandon.
Yeah, this game's gonna be over.
That is super unfortunate. But, you know, that's just how the... Oh, there's always removal. His double black removal.
Another double black removal, yeah. Well, unfortunately.
Well, I'm glad he played Wrath of God instead of Bantu's Last Reckoning.
Yeah.
But we'll see if we have 29 minutes. We should be able to get another game in.
Yeah, we can try to go find another one if there
All right.
people still playing. There's the Rowanus. Yeah.
We will be back soon, hopefully with another game. Stay tuned. And we will be back in a few flicks of a cat's tail. Hello and welcome back. Unfortunately, the last match has just about finished, so there will be no more matches for tonight. But I just want to thank everyone for tuning in, watching, any comments that you might have left in the chat. Hopefully, I will be here next week. I really enjoyed this. I don't know if you will.
I will not.
Sean will not, but I definitely will. So, from everyone here at Four Horsemen Comics and Gaming, Sean Carroll, and myself,
And me
Alan
too.
Wontroba, and Ryan, we thank you, and we'll see you next week. Bye.